What if the most dangerous fat on your body isn't the fat you can pinch? It might sound surprising, but two people can stand side by side, wear the same clothing size, and even weigh exactly the same, yet one may have a much higher risk of serious health problems. The difference isn't always visible in the mirror. It's what may be happening deep inside the body. If you're over 60, this is something worth understanding, not because you should fear it, but because knowing the facts gives you the power to make better choices. Many people believe belly fat is simply part of getting older, something they have to accept. While some changes with age are completely normal, research suggests that the type of fat stored around your middle can matter far more than the number on the scale. Imagine two suitcases that look identical from the outside. One is neatly packed, while the other is stuffed so tightly that it presses against everything inside. From a distance, they appear the same. Your body can work in a similar way. Sometimes the fat you don't easily notice is the kind that places extra pressure on important organs and quietly affects how your body functions every day. This hidden fat has been linked to changes in blood sugar, heart health, energy levels, and even how easily you move around. It doesn't mean these problems are guaranteed, and it certainly doesn't mean it's too late to improve your health. In fact, many experts agree that small, consistent lifestyle changes can make a meaningful difference at almost any age. That's exactly what this video is about. We're going to explore 9 foods that may help support healthier body composition as part of an overall balanced lifestyle. These foods aren't miracle cures, and they won't magically melt fat overnight. Anyone promising that isn't giving you the full picture. Instead, we'll look at what current research suggests, why these foods may be helpful, and how simple daily habits can work together to support your health after 60. And don't miss food number 7. It surprises even many nutrition professionals because it's inexpensive, easy to find, and often overlooked. By the end of this video, you'll understand not only what to eat, but also why these choices matter. Before discussing the foods themselves, we first need to understand what belly fat actually is and why your body starts storing more of it after 60. To understand why certain foods may help, we first need to answer one simple question. What exactly is belly fat? The answer is more interesting than most people realize because not all body fat behaves the same way. The fat you can pinch just beneath your skin is called subcutaneous fat. Think of it as a layer of padding. It sits between your skin and your muscles, and while carrying too much of it isn't ideal, it isn't always the biggest concern. Many people assume this is the only kind of belly fat they have, but there's another type that's much less obvious. Hidden deeper inside the abdomen is something called visceral fat. This fat surrounds important organs like your liver, pancreas, and intestines. Imagine wrapping those organs in a thick, heavy winter blanket. A light blanket keeps you comfortable, but if you keep adding more and more layers, everything underneath starts feeling squeezed. Your organs don't have as much room to function comfortably, and over time, that extra fat can influence how they work. Visceral fat isn't just sitting there quietly. Research suggests it can release substances that encourage ongoing, low-level inflammation. Inflammation is your body's natural way of responding to injury or infection, but when it continues for months or years without a clear reason, it may place extra stress on many parts of the body. It's a bit like having a smoke alarm that keeps beeping even though there isn't a real fire. Eventually, that constant signal becomes a problem of its own. This is one reason doctors pay close attention to waist size, especially after the age of 60. Excess visceral fat has been linked with changes in blood sugar control, heart health, and the way your body uses energy. It doesn't guarantee illness, but it can increase risk over time, which is why prevention matters. So why does this type of fat become more common as we get older? Part of the answer is that our bodies naturally change. After about age 60, many people begin losing muscle more quickly unless they stay physically active and eat enough protein. Muscle burns more calories than fat, even while you're resting. As muscle gradually decreases, your body often uses fewer calories each day, making it easier to gain weight without changing your eating habits. Hormonal changes also play a role. Both men and women experience shifts in hormones as they age, and these changes can encourage more fat to settle around the abdomen instead of other areas. On top of that, retirement, joint discomfort, or simply moving less throughout the day can further reduce calorie use. The good news is that none of these changes mean you're powerless. Your body continues responding to healthy habits, even later in life. In fact, understanding how visceral fat works makes the rest of this video much easier to understand. And once you know what causes it to build up, the next question becomes even more important. If belly fat develops gradually, what everyday habits quietly make it worse? By now, you know that belly fat doesn't usually appear overnight. It builds up little by little, often through habits that seem harmless on their own. The encouraging news is that if small habits helped create the problem, small changes can also become part of the solution. Let's start with one of the biggest hidden challenges: highly processed foods. These are foods that have been heavily altered from their original form and often contain added sugars, refined grains, unhealthy fats, and extra salt. They're designed to taste good and keep you reaching for more, but they don't always leave you feeling satisfied for long. It's easy to eat hundreds of extra calories before your brain even realizes you've had enough. Sugary drinks create another common problem. A glass of soda, sweet tea, or even some fruit-flavored beverages can contain a surprising amount of sugar. Because liquids don't fill us up the same way solid foods do, many people end up drinking extra calories without eating less later in the day. Then there's portion size. Many of us grew up believing we should clean our plates, but restaurant meals and packaged foods have become much larger over the years. Even nutritious foods can contribute to weight gain if portions regularly exceed what your body needs. Here's a myth that's worth clearing up. Many people believe that eating less is always the fastest way to lose belly fat. In reality, extremely restrictive diets often work against you, especially after 60. When you cut calories too drastically, your body may lose valuable muscle along with fat. Since muscle helps your body burn calories throughout the day, losing it can make long-term weight management even more difficult. Studies have found that slow, steady changes are often easier to maintain than quick fixes. Sleep is another piece of the puzzle that many people overlook. A poor night's sleep doesn't just leave you tired. Research suggests it can affect the hormones that regulate hunger, making you crave sugary or high-calorie foods the next day. It's much harder to make healthy choices when you're already running low on energy. Stress can have a similar effect. When life feels overwhelming, many people naturally reach for comfort foods. Chronic stress may also influence hormones that encourage fat storage around the abdomen. While we can't eliminate every source of stress, finding healthy ways to manage it can support overall well-being. There's one more habit that's quietly become part of modern life: sitting for long periods. Even if you exercise a few times a week, spending most of the day sitting means your muscles aren't being used as often as they could be. Regular movement, even short walks or standing breaks, can make a difference over time. Finally, many older adults simply don't eat enough protein. Protein helps support muscle maintenance, keeps you feeling fuller, and plays an important role in healthy aging. Without enough of it, preserving muscle becomes more difficult. If you recognized yourself in some of these habits, don't be discouraged. Awareness is the first step toward change. The best part is that many of these mistakes can be improved with simple food choices. Now that we've identified what works against you, let's begin with the first food that can work in your favor. Now that we've talked about the habits that can quietly encourage belly fat, let's turn our attention to something much more encouraging. The first 3 foods on our list all have one thing in common. They help you feel satisfied while giving your body nutrients that become especially important after the age of 60. Remember, no single food can melt belly fat by itself. But when these foods replace less nutritious choices, they may help support a healthier body composition over time. Our first food is one that many people already have in their kitchen: eggs. For years, eggs were surrounded by confusion, but today, many experts agree they can be part of a healthy diet for most people. Eggs provide high-quality protein, which contains the building blocks your muscles need. This matters because muscle naturally declines with age unless you actively protect it. Protein also helps with something many people struggle with every day: hunger. Imagine eating a breakfast of sugary cereal and feeling hungry again before lunchtime. Now compare that with a breakfast that includes eggs alongside vegetables or whole grain toast. Many people find they stay full longer, making it easier to avoid unnecessary snacking later in the day. If you have specific health conditions, such as high cholesterol or kidney disease, it's always wise to ask your healthcare provider what amount is right for you. Food number 2 is plain Greek yogurt. At first glance, it may not seem very different from regular yogurt, but there's an important distinction. Greek yogurt is typically higher in protein because more liquid has been removed during the straining process. That extra protein can help you feel satisfied while also supporting healthy muscles. Choose an unsweetened variety whenever possible. Some flavored yogurts contain as much added sugar as a dessert, which can work against your goals. If plain yogurt tastes too tart, try adding fresh berries, sliced fruit, or a sprinkle of cinnamon. Many Greek yogurts also contain live cultures, often called probiotics. These are friendly bacteria that help support a healthy balance in your digestive system. While probiotics are not a magic solution for weight loss, research suggests that a healthy gut may play a role in overall metabolic health. Our third food might surprise you because it's simple, affordable, and comforting. Oats. A warm bowl of oatmeal has been a breakfast favorite for generations, and for good reason. Oats are rich in a type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. Think of soluble fiber like a soft sponge. As it moves through your digestive system, it absorbs water and slows digestion. This helps you feel full for longer and provides steadier energy instead of the quick rise and crash that often follows sugary breakfasts. Studies have also found that soluble fiber can support healthy cholesterol levels as part of an overall balanced diet. That's another reason oats have earned such a strong reputation among nutrition professionals. For even greater benefits, consider topping your oatmeal with berries, chopped walnuts, or a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt to create a meal that's both satisfying and nourishing. There's an important lesson connecting these first 3 foods. They're not special because they burn fat directly. They're valuable because they help reduce hunger, support muscle maintenance, and make it easier to build healthy eating habits that last. Those steady, everyday choices often produce better results than chasing the latest diet trend. And we're only getting started. The next foods on our list work in a completely different way. Instead of focusing mainly on hunger, they help support your body's natural defenses and overall metabolic health. The next group focuses less on hunger and more on calming inflammation and supporting metabolism. The first 3 foods helped us understand how protein and fiber can keep hunger under better control. Now let's look at another important piece of the puzzle. As we grow older, many experts believe that reducing long-term low-grade inflammation can support healthier aging. That doesn't mean inflammation is always bad. In fact, it's one of the ways your body protects itself when you're injured or fighting an infection. The problem comes when that protective response stays switched on for too long. Think of inflammation like a small campfire. When it's controlled, it provides warmth and serves a purpose. But if it keeps burning day and night, it can slowly damage the area around it. Highly processed foods, poor sleep, inactivity, and excess visceral fat may all contribute to keeping that fire burning. The foods we're about to discuss won't put out the fire overnight, but they may help create a healthier environment inside your body over time. Food number 4 is fatty fish, such as salmon, sardines, trout, or mackerel. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, healthy fats that have been widely studied for their role in supporting heart health. Research suggests omega-3s may also help support normal inflammatory processes and healthy muscle function as we age. That's important because maintaining muscle doesn't just help with strength. It also supports balance, mobility, and the number of calories your body naturally uses each day. If you don't eat fish often, even 1 or 2 servings each week can be a meaningful step for many people. Baking, grilling, or steaming fish instead of deep frying keeps the meal lighter while allowing its natural flavor to shine. If you have dietary restrictions or take blood-thinning medication, talk with your healthcare provider before making significant changes or using fish oil supplements. Food number 5 is leafy green vegetables. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard, romaine lettuce, and similar greens may not seem exciting, but they're among the most nutrient-dense foods you can put on your plate. Nutrient-dense simply means they provide a large amount of vitamins, minerals, and beneficial plant compounds for relatively few calories. Leafy greens also contain fiber, which helps support digestion and keeps you feeling satisfied after meals. Imagine filling half your dinner plate with colorful greens before adding the rest of your meal. You're naturally making room for foods that nourish your body without leaving you feeling deprived. Small habits like this are often easier to maintain than strict diets that eliminate entire food groups. Food number 6 brings a little natural sweetness to the table. Berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries are packed with fiber and colorful plant compounds called antioxidants. You don't need to remember that scientific term. Just think of antioxidants as helpers that protect your body's cells from everyday wear and tear. While berries won't erase belly fat, they can be a satisfying alternative to sugary desserts and snacks that often provide lots of calories without much nutrition. Try adding berries to oatmeal, plain Greek yogurt, or simply enjoying a small bowl after dinner. Their natural sweetness can satisfy cravings while giving your body nutrients it can actually use. Notice the pattern with these foods. None of them promise miracles, and none of them work alone. Their real strength comes from replacing foods that are high in added sugar, refined carbohydrates, and unhealthy fats. Over weeks and months, those smarter choices can add up in ways that quick-fix diets rarely do. But we're not finished yet. The final 3 foods are often overlooked because they're so ordinary. In fact, one of them surprises many people who assume healthy eating has to be expensive or complicated. The next 3 foods are often overlooked, yet they may be among the easiest additions to your daily routine. We've reached the final 3 foods, and you may notice something interesting. None of them are exotic, difficult to prepare, or expensive. In fact, they're found in most grocery stores and have been part of healthy eating patterns around the world for generations. Sometimes the simplest foods are the ones we overlook, even though they can make a meaningful difference when eaten regularly. Let's begin with food number 7, the one I mentioned at the start of this video. It's beans and lentils. Many people are surprised to see them on a list about belly fat because they aren't marketed as trendy superfoods. Yet nutrition professionals often recommend them because they offer an impressive combination of plant protein and fiber. Think of fiber and protein as a team working together. Protein helps support your muscles, while fiber slows digestion and helps you feel satisfied for longer. That combination may reduce the temptation to keep reaching for snacks between meals. Research also suggests that meals rich in fiber can help support steadier blood sugar levels, which is another important part of healthy aging. The best part is how easy they are to use. Add black beans to a salad, stir lentils into a hearty soup, mix chickpeas into roasted vegetables, or enjoy a small serving as a side dish instead of highly refined starches. These simple swaps don't feel dramatic, but over months and years, they can become powerful habits. Food number 8 is nuts, especially walnuts and almonds. For years, some people avoided nuts because they contain fat. Here's where another myth deserves attention. Not all fats are the same. Walnuts and almonds provide mostly unsaturated fats, the type many experts associate with heart health when eaten as part of a balanced diet. Nuts also contain protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Together, these nutrients can make them a satisfying snack that keeps hunger under better control than chips, cookies, or candy. The key word is moderation. Because nuts are calorie-dense, a small handful is usually enough. Think of them as something to enjoy thoughtfully, rather than mindlessly eating straight from a large container. One practical idea is to prepare small portions at the beginning of the week. Keeping a handful of almonds or walnuts ready to grab makes it easier to choose them when hunger strikes, instead of reaching for processed snacks. Our final food is green tea. No, green tea doesn't magically melt belly fat, despite what flashy advertisements may claim. However, replacing sugary drinks with unsweetened green tea can reduce unnecessary added sugar and calories. That's already a meaningful step in the right direction. Green tea also contains natural plant compounds called catechins. Research suggests these compounds may support normal metabolism, although their effects are generally modest. The greatest benefit often comes from what green tea replaces rather than from the tea itself. Swapping one sugary drink each day for water or unsweetened green tea may seem like a small decision, but repeated hundreds of times over a year, those choices can add up. As you look across all 9 foods we've discussed, a clear pattern begins to emerge. They aren't connected by magic ingredients or dramatic promises. They're connected by nourishment. They provide protein, fiber, healthy fats, vitamins, minerals, and beneficial plant compounds that help your body function at its best while making it easier to build satisfying meals. Imagine starting your morning with oatmeal topped with berries, enjoying Greek yogurt as an afternoon snack, adding beans to lunch, serving salmon with leafy greens for dinner, and finishing the day with a warm cup of unsweetened green tea. None of those meals are extreme. They're realistic, enjoyable, and sustainable. But there's one important reason some people still don't lose belly fat, even after adding these foods to their diet. The foods matter, but they're only part of the picture. By now you have 9 nutritious foods that can become valuable additions to your meals. But this is also the moment to clear up one of the biggest misconceptions about healthy aging. Even the healthiest foods cannot completely overcome unhealthy daily habits. Think of your body like a garden. Planting good seeds is important, but they still need sunlight, water, and regular care to grow. Nutrition works the same way. The food you eat is powerful, but it works best when it's supported by movement, rest, and consistency. One of the most important habits after the age of 60 is resistance exercise. That doesn't mean you have to become a bodybuilder or spend hours lifting heavy weights. Resistance exercise simply means asking your muscles to work against some form of resistance. It could be light dumbbells, resistance bands, body weight movements, or even supervised strength training at a community center. Walking is another habit that deserves more credit than it often receives. Many people assume that if they're not doing intense workouts, they're not making progress. That's simply not true. A brisk walk after meals may help support healthy blood sugar levels while keeping your joints moving and your heart active. Even breaking up long periods of sitting with a few minutes of movement can make a positive difference. Remember, your body responds to regular activity, not just occasional bursts of exercise. Sleep is equally important, even though many people think of it as wasted time. While you sleep, your body repairs tissues, regulates hormones, and prepares for the next day. Poor sleep can increase feelings of hunger, reduce energy for physical activity, and make it harder to make healthy food choices. If you're consistently struggling with sleep, it's worth discussing the issue with your healthcare provider because improving sleep quality may benefit many areas of your health. Hydration is another simple habit that's easy to overlook. As we age, our sense of thirst often becomes less reliable. Some people don't realize they're mildly dehydrated until they feel tired or develop headaches. Drinking enough water supports normal body functions, and replacing sugary beverages with water or unsweetened drinks can reduce unnecessary calories without requiring complicated meal plans. Let's also talk about stress. Life doesn't become stress-free after retirement. Health concerns, financial pressures, family responsibilities, and major life changes can all take an emotional toll. Chronic stress may influence hormones that affect appetite and encourage unhealthy eating habits. While we can't remove every challenge, we can develop healthier ways to respond. Deep breathing, spending time outdoors, connecting with loved ones, reading, gardening, or enjoying a favorite hobby may all help reduce stress in meaningful ways. Imagine how these small habits add up over the next year. One healthy meal becomes hundreds. One short walk becomes thousands of extra steps. One strength training session becomes stronger muscles that help you stay independent and confident. These aren't dramatic overnight transformations. They're the kind of steady improvements that often last. Most importantly, be patient with yourself. Your goal isn't to become the youngest person in the room. Your goal is to become the healthiest version of yourself today. Every positive choice is a step in that direction, no matter how small it may seem. Now that we've explored both nutrition and lifestyle, it's time to put everything together into a practical approach you can begin using right away. Let's bring everything together into a simple plan you can start today. We started by talking about the difference between the belly fat you can see and the hidden visceral fat that surrounds important organs. That hidden fat is the reason doctors pay attention to waist size, especially after the age of 60. While you can't see it in the mirror, Healthy lifestyle habits may help reduce it over time and support your heart, blood sugar, energy levels, and overall well-being. Next, we learned why protein and fiber deserve a place in almost every meal. Protein helps preserve muscle, and muscle is one of your greatest allies as you age. It supports strength, balance, independence, and even the number of calories your body naturally burns. Fiber helps you stay satisfied longer, supports healthy digestion, and makes it easier to avoid unnecessary snacking. Now I'd like to invite you to try a simple 7-day challenge. Don't worry about changing everything overnight. Instead, focus on one small improvement each day. Add one of the featured foods to your meals. Maybe you start with oatmeal for breakfast on Monday, enjoy Greek yogurt on Tuesday, add beans to your lunch on Wednesday, or prepare salmon for dinner later in the week. By the end of 7 days, you'll have tried several healthy changes without feeling overwhelmed. At the same time, give your body a little extra support. If you're able, take a short walk after 1 or 2 meals each day. It doesn't have to be fast or long. Even 10 or 15 minutes of movement is better than staying seated. Include a source of protein whenever possible, whether it's eggs, yogurt, fish, beans, or another protein-rich food that fits your needs. Reach for water or unsweetened drinks instead of sugary beverages more often. Finally, do your best to go to bed at a consistent time so your body has the chance to recover and recharge. Don't be discouraged if progress feels slow. Healthy changes rarely happen all at once. Some weeks will go better than others, and that's perfectly normal. What matters most is returning to your healthy habits instead of giving up because of one less than perfect day. Remember, consistency always beats perfection. Take a moment to imagine yourself 1 year from now. Picture having a little more energy when you wake up, feeling stronger as you climb the stairs, enjoying walks with your family, or simply moving through your day with greater confidence. Those improvements don't come from one extraordinary decision. They come from hundreds of ordinary decisions that quietly build a healthier future. Before we finish, I'd love to hear from you. Which of the 9 foods are you planning to add to your meals first? Share your answer in the comments because your idea might inspire someone else who's just beginning their own journey. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with a friend or family member over 60 who could benefit from this information. And if you enjoy clear, evidence-aware health education designed to help you stay active and independent as you age, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Remember, your waistline doesn't change because of one magical meal. It changes because of the choices you make consistently. And every healthy choice you make today is an investment in the life you want to enjoy tomorrow.